Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hollis-Brookline for today's NHIAA Boys Division II first-round matchup featuring the number 7 Cavaliers of Hollis-Brookline taking on the number 10 Bobcats of Plymouth Regional High School. Hello, everyone. Dan Selzer here, Pemmy Baker TV, bringing you complete coverage of this first-round matchup. Teams get set for kickoff. Both teams met earlier this month up in Plymouth back on October 2nd, as it was a 3-1 victory for Hollis-Brookline. In a very contentious game. Both teams very kind of carbon copy of each other's. Both teams like to possess. And here with the short field and bumpy field conditions, we'll see how this will play a factor for both sides. Plymouth in their road white uniforms here this afternoon. Hollis-Brookline in their home blues. As the Bobcats will have the kickoff and go left to right across your screen here in the first half. And we're underway in the first round matchup here in Division II. Far side, McAvoy trying to play it forward for the Cavaliers. It's stolen away, though, by Wingstead. Good overlapping run. Carpenter trying to find options here on the near side. Again, Hollis-Brookline has the height advantage over Plymouth. Advantage to the call there, as this one's sent out of play by Fogarty. So expect Plymouth to do more of what they've just done is in the opening minute here, is play quickly into the midfield, try to set up opportunities, while Hollis-Brookline looking to use their height and advantage into the box. As I foul here on the Bobcats and Peter Wingstead. This is what Plymouth can't afford to do. Bask will send this to the far side. It's headed on. Bask under pressure. Looking for some options. It's cut off by Fogarty. Played towards the 18. This one sent down towards the end line. Battle kept in play, though, by the Cavaliers. Burns under pressure. Good step up by the Bobcats. It's out of play, though, for a Hollis-Brookline throw-in. Overcast day. Pretty mild temperature for the end of October here in New Hampshire. Lobbed in towards the 6. Bobcats get away from pressure as it's headed out towards midfield. McAvoy. One touches it down the line, but it's out of play. Third minute of action. As Cavaliers under pressure. Good step up by the Bobcats. Hollis-Brookline with possession. Burns. Defender all over him as this will be sent back to Coutu in the 18. He slips on the clearance attempt. It's stolen away by Plymouth. So this one's tapped out on the far sideline. Locked up far side of the field. This one's out for another Bobcat throw-in in front of Cavaliers bench. .50-50 far side. Hickson. Heavy first touch. It takes a deflection off of Burns' shin and out of play. So already you see Hollis-Brookline preventing Plymouth from really working around the midfielders like they want. Are forcing to play them into pressure. Flicked up, edge of the 18. This one headed out to the midfield. Burns gets a piece of it. Battle on the far side. Chip forward, trying to find the target of Girard. Far sideline, and it just rolls out of play. Pretty narrow field, pretty narrow in length as well. Very short here at Hollis-Brookline, so goalkeeping kicks can really play a factor this afternoon. Two great head coaches for both sides. Steve Martis for Hollis-Brookline and Jesse Elderkin for Plymouth, both products of Plymouth State University. Tackled down low, Smith trying to cut into the 18, defended nicely, has it on his foot, crossing pass, it's deflected back to him. This one flicked up, and Elliott Miller has to make a play, and he'll work it out the far side. First real opportunity for either team here this afternoon. One touch to the middle. Wingstead looking for an option. Too far out of the reach, though, as McKenna was there to stop it. Just under 35 minutes remaining here, first half. Still scoreless. You already see that the soft field conditions are playing more of a factor this game. Miscommunication defensively for the Cavaliers. Santifo was expecting Kutu to come off his line and make the grab. Cut off by Green. Bobcats going to try to swing it around to the far side. Burns into the middle. Wingstead with a nice touch. Has some help. Tough one for Fogarty to control, though. Smith. Bask will play it back to the defensive side. Wojak will swing it to the right. And the Cavaliers try to dump it over the top. Bobcat defense was lined up nicely for it. Good read stepping in as Fogarty. Heavy first touch, though, from the Bobcats. That one's off of Casarino. Chipped over the top towards the edge of the 18. Plymouth will send it far side. McKenna slide this one through towards the flag. Doesn't look like it's going to get out of play. Battle on the end line, stays in bounds. But the Bobcats will have possession. Sent far side, foot race on as this one's chipped up and out of play. Good work by Nate McAvoy, the freshman defender for Hollis-Brookline, to get a foot on that. So again, because of the soft conditions, a lot of these are coming over the top. It's making it more difficult for both teams to play that possessive game in the midfield and defensive third that they like to do to try to break it out the other way. Fogarty with some time at midfield. Trying to play Wingstead. Can't settle it down cleanly, but gets a foot on it and wins possession back. Edge of the 18, gets a shot off and pulls it just to the left. First real opportunity for Plymouth here this afternoon. Here with 32:20 remaining first half. Ryan Kutu, the senior goalkeeper, with a nice goal kick to get things back underway. Good read step up there by Fogarty. Has some space in front, but will slip on the delivery. Tries to send that one vertically on a run. Hickson. Intended for Wingstead. Chested down by Pratt. This one straight up into the sky in front of us as Pratt gets a head on it and it's out of play. Flicked on by McKenna. Bass gets a play on it to the far side, looking for Sattler. as Plymouth will come away with possession. Miller will grab this one out of the sky. Low punt from him. This one touched up by Wojak. Played far side by McAvoy. McAvoy wearing the number 15 here today. Listen to the roster. He's 20 here in the official roster. Opportunity for the Cavaliers, top of the 18. Still sitting there. Smith trying to load. This one touched effort by McKenna, misses on the near side. But both teams starting to get some chances here. 10th minute of action. We'll have our first change. Moose Ty checking in for Plymouth. Casarino switch over here to the right side for the Bobcats. That change with Darren Pratt subbing out here. Kennedy senses the double team trying to play it forward. As Burns couldn't find his intended target on the far side with Sattler. And possession will go to Plymouth. The officials will bring Plymouth back down the line, trying to sneak a couple extra yards on the throw-in. Play in front of the Cavaliers bench will go to Hollis-Brookline. Chipped over the top, a chance on here for the Cavaliers. Bask can't find it on his foot. It's sent towards the flag, and it's going to be a corner kick here. So the first corner kick of the game goes to Hollis-Brookline on the far side, and this is where they will have the advantage with the height on the set pieces in Plymouth territory. 28:39 remaining here, first half, still scoreless. This one's driven in low, front post, towards the back post by Plymouth on a clearance attempt, and it's going to be out for another corner kick. I believe it was Connor Green that got ahead on that. So we'll see if Cavaliers try to drive it in low once again. They'll set up behind the penalty spot far side. Trying to make their runs. This one sent to that deep back post. Cleared right back into pressure though by Plymouth. One shot opportunity, takes a deflection near side. As McAvoy couldn't get there in time for the one-touch effort. Still a battle here. McAvoy flicks it towards the 18. Bobcats will clear it up to midfield. Headed right back into pressure. Fogarty couldn't control it. Plymouth not taking any chances. Only enough for McAvoy. Back up top. Tips to the near side. See right into the corner. Left-footed cross off. Sitting at the 6. Takes a deflection and in. 1-0 Hollis-Brookline with 27:16 remaining. I believe it was Max Burns getting the touch on that. If not, Brian Wright with the goal. That's just a tough one. Defense was in place. Bobcats had to deflect off a player and nothing that Elliott Miller could do. An early 1-0 lead for Hollis-Brookline. Big slip in midfield. Nice job by Burns to recover. He's cut off by Fogarty. Played forward with Wingstead. Tries to split 3 defenders, and it's cleared away by the Cavaliers to the near side. Throw into the corner. Casarino couldn't control it cleanly and stay with Plymouth. In towards the 18, this one-touched effort cleared out by Wojciak to the near side. Knocked down by Smith. He couldn't control it. Plymouth will try to head it back vertically. Sattler will send this up to midfield. Ty tries to flick this one on the one-timer, but it's deflected back to Plymouth's end. Burns plays it towards the sideline. Slip up, but still controlled by the Cavaliers. McKenna senses the double team going back out wide. Nice cut back by Sattler. Looking in the middle for Burns. It's tipped away from him. So you see Plymouth is still trying to work vertically here. Now trailing by 1. Under 25 minutes to go first half. And this one will be cleared out of play near midfield. Burns with a settle. Looks back defensively, nearly cut off by Wingstead. But I like that Burns just trying to play the way he's facing. Sets up an attack going the other way. This one just too far out of the reach of Ethan Smith. Defoe with a throw-in. It's a nice one towards the 6. Plymouth will head it away. One-time effort out of the air there by McAvoy, but it's saved by Elliot Miller. Stopped on the punt from Burns. We'd like to see Miller just get his defense up before he actually makes the kick. Get those numbers forward. Defoe with some space. Waits for the overcommit of Plymouth and plays it back into the middle, so it really looks like the offense is running through Max Burns here for Hollis-Brookline. One-touch effort goes back up top for Kennedy. McAvoy has it poked off his foot. Plymouth trying to counter. But unlucky for Wingstead, he couldn't control it. Ty will fire this one out of play and a turnover at midfield. Minutes remaining first half. Cavaliers with a 1-0 lead. Overcommitted by Plymouth. Sattler wins possession back. Nice touch from Burns. Worked over to Defoe. Has help with Smith on the side. Decides to go to him. Smith, nice overlapping run there by Bask into the corner. He'll lift this one towards the 6. It's threw everyone out the other way. Manoush Ty with a step over. As Ty will play it out of bounds on the far side. McAvoy taking his time for the throw-in. .50-50 by both teams. This one settled down by Wingstead. Gerard trying to find Ty. Way too far away from him, though. Giving right over to the defense. Burns senses pressure. Flicks this one into the corner. Pass intended for Burns. Plymouth will steal it, though, at the top of the 18. See how quickly Cavaliers get numbers behind the ball. Only 3 players forward in white uniforms for Plymouth. McKenna couldn't control, trying to find Burns. It goes back to McKenna. Good pressure. Tipped back, though, to Defoe. Hesitation from Defoe. Opens up space. Smith in front trying to screen for him, but it's tipped out. And it will go to Plymouth as we have a sub ready for the Bobcats coming in. Looks like Darren Pratt will sub back in for Plymouth. News Ty thought it was him, but it's Anton Smith being subbed out. Knocked around as this one's off of Pratt's head and out of play. Good crowd lining the near sideline here at Hollis-Brookline for this first round matchup. Sent into the sky, play towards the edge of 18, headed back though from Kennedy, and a whistle and a foul committed by Plymouth on the push. Kutu with a quick touch. Vertical pass from Defoe. Looking for Bask. Looking for an option on the pass from Smith. Cavaliers quickly work it out the other way. Ty will get a foot on it. Gerard back to Ty. One touched into the middle. Carpenter got a piece of it. Hesitation. Casarino still has it on his foot left side. And he's tackled as he tried to cross it in. And some extracurricular activities afterwards. You can hear head coach Jesse Elderkin on this side. So a set piece here for Plymouth, edge of the 18 on the left. Welcome Brian into the broadcast, and so far Plymouth down, but are getting some chances here. Towards the penalty spot. Trying to turn on that one as Gerard, he couldn't control it cleanly. Pratt. No-look feed stolen away by Burns and Hollis-Brookline as they counter. Wingstead, good work hustling back. Ty trips over the ball. And the back and forth battle in the midfield continues.
How you doing? Brandon Miller here. Sorry for my late arrival. Joining you for the game. Looks like Plymouth needs to start generating some offense. Haven't seen them down this end at all.
Yeah, there's just been a couple of times. It's been a lot of these plays. This one's chipped just over the net there from Aiden Defoe. I mean, you saw the battle between these two schools early this year, and kind of what did you take away heading down the stretch?
I know Hollis had a couple of really good strikers that were hard for Plymouth to stop in the first game. So I'm wondering if the coaching got involved in showing how to shut those kids down, or maybe film showed them a way to try to get in there and make sure those kids didn't beat them as well as they did last time.
We talked about it at the top of the show that the field conditions very soft, very bumpy, so it kind of takes away from both teams' game plan of that very passive style that they like to play.
Definitely, yeah. Slows the game down and gets you that unpredictability of the ball kind of bouncing around on you.
Just under 17.5 minutes remaining here first half. Hollis-Brookline with a 1-0 lead thanks to Burns on that one-timer that took a deflection off of the Bobcats defense. Still battling here. Kennedy inside the 18, playing it up top. Goes to Defoe out in the midfield. He'll one-time this one on the hop, and it misses wide and high.
I also noticed in the last game the Hollis goalie has quite the leg.
Yes.
He can punt the ball about 3/4 of the field.
I mean, we spoke with head coach Steve Martis, and it kind of joked during warm-ups, and I was like, what was one of your biggest takeaways from the matchup with Plymouth earlier? And he goes, field. Field's beautiful up there compared to here. So as much as Kutu can launch it, he's been struggling. Both keepers have been struggling to get that plant foot down and get a nice clean touch.
Yeah, the soft turf, makes it a little unsure your footing. Yeah, Plymouth does have a nice field. This field looks like one of the smaller fields they've played on this year as well.
Yes, very, very short. which bodes well for any set pieces near midfield expected to be played inside the 18 penalty spot, even with a nice foot towards the 6. This one takes a deflection off a Cavalier to the near side. It's off of McKenna.
I'd like to see Plymouth start challenging Hollis and not letting them kind of carry the ball freely, because you never know in conditions like this, wet post the rain conditions like that. You never know what kind of bounces can go your way, and you got to create those opportunities.
Takes a deflection. Wingstead with a player in front under pressure. Gets away, and now they call the foul, and the right one there as he wrapped the arm around Noah Swart. It just seems as though Plymouth is that kind of half step behind right now.
Yeah, there's been a lack of anticipation in their last couple of games. They need to start sprinting ahead and anticipating where the ball's going to be rather than going directly to the ball.
Again, kind of back and forth on wins and losses since the Lebanon loss on October 4th. It's just tough to get momentum heading into playoffs.
Yeah, and they've been playing some tough teams too.
So
luckily there haven't been too many injuries this year, so they're pretty much playing with the same team that they started the season with.
Can't quite reach the tree to knock on wood right now here for the playoff on that. This one's deflected out for a deep Cavalier throw-in with Defoe. And this is the set piece that we talked about. Even though it's a throw, we've seen Defoe really get it in towards the 6.
Yeah, those throws can get right in there. Look at that. It's almost like a corner right there.
It's touched on by Wingstead and just couldn't control it. Finally, Pratt will send this one vertically, but right to the defense of the Cavaliers. McAvoy slides it forward. Good work by the midfielders of Plymouth to deflect it back upfield. Nice cutback opportunity in the mid. Gerard over the top, just too much on it this time, but good idea by Plymouth.
Yeah, they got to start poking, see if they can create some opportunities any way they can. Don't want to fall down 2-0 this early in the game.
Exactly. Still looking for their first official shot on goal. Had one earlier that just was pulled to the left. Chipped up by Fogarty. Ty will send this one for a ride, but all the way into the Cavaliers' 18, and Kutu calmly picks it up at the hip.
He's a player that's really come on for Plymouth this year. He's improved over the length of the season and playing with a lot more confidence later in the year. I know the Plymouth midfielders are all young, and they've come a long way.
So we see Ty and Wingstead being subbed out here for Plymouth.
They've got a bright future in their midfield next year.
Twombly and Smith will check back in. There's a lot of depth coming up, and it just feels like it's just been a little bit of a disappointment, and not only the coaching staff, but also the players as well. They expected a little bit more out of this season.
Yeah, I think so. I think the uneven play has really disappointed them. I think sometimes their lack of aggressiveness has come to bite them in a few games.
You wonder if that urgency kind of with the one-and-done situation will kind of spark that fire as here comes Plymouth. Out to the left, touched on, and a shot just misses over the crossbar. Great opportunity for Plymouth.
That was a nice chance right there.
Their best one here this afternoon. Casarino doing well. He's had some opportunities getting through that defense.
He looks like he's got a little fire under him.
I mean, being a senior, you know that this could potentially be your last game.
Yeah, I know Miller and Casarino and Connor Green were all invited to play for Seacoast United this season, so they'll at least stay together for another season.
Battle advantage called here in favor of Hollis-Brookline. Good step up with Carpenter. He's starting to gather some momentum in the midfield. Casarino looking for some options to Carpenter. Carpenter's just going to decide to send it forward, takes a deflection down.
Oh.
Battle contact inside the 18 with McAvoy dropping a shoulder. And
refs are letting him play.
Yeah,
it's getting physical in there.
Give me a little, what's up with that, official?
I think Casarino might be getting a little payback for that push over on the sideline. I've seen a couple times he's gotten manhandled a little, so.
It's playoff atmosphere, to say the least.
Definitely got to let him play in the playoffs.
Just over 11 minutes remaining first half. Settled down by Swart. We'll leave it for Defoe. And Plymouth just committing too many in the steps. Luckily, Carpenter comes over. Defoe will commit the foul on the shove. So a set piece here for Plymouth just on their half.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely the physicality in this game is really ramping up as it goes on. See if Green can get this in here and give him a nice offensive chance.
Connor Green, the senior defender. We'll send this one just up to Pratt, trying to tip it inside. And again, you wonder if that's kind of a design play because of the lack of height from Plymouth.
Yeah.
Quickly worked out to the right-hand side. It's right with it.
Anton's really showing some wheels, keeping up with that number 9.
Fresh legs just off the bench, tipped inside, and it's missing on the near side of the crossbar. Good effort coming from Hollis-Brookline.
Hollis is moving the ball real well right now.
This one off a defender and off a Carpenter in the back of the net. You talked about moving the ball. Defoe, the defender, getting the goal. The sophomore makes it 2-0 Cavaliers. That's just a tough one.
Yeah, Miller looked like he lost his feet there.
Yeah, very muddy inside the boxes, straight up the middle. Looks a lot like a football field at times. But the second deflection goal here for Hollis-Brookline in the first half.
That's why you got to get him on net because you never know what's going to happen.
Initial shot came from
See how they respond here. They were playing with some fire the last few minutes, so hopefully they can maintain that.
There's fire, and then there's contact that we just saw from Pratt going into Defoe there after the play. You got to be worried not to draw the fouls and start seeing some cards come out.
Yeah, the refs, you want to see them let them play in the playoffs, but you don't want to see it get out of hand. So it's hard for the refs to find that balance.
But they have done well so far. 9:03 remaining here first half. Cavaliers leading 2-0. Again, they had the 3-1 lead or 3-1 win at Plymouth earlier this month. Tipped in the middle. Bask trying to find an option on the overlapping run. Swart with a cutback.
Pratt really did a good job keeping up with that guy. Guy had 3 or 4 steps on him, and Pratt caught up.
And here comes the foul here on Pratt, and this is the dangerous set piece.
That slide tackle is always difficult. When it works, it's beautiful, but when it doesn't, it can really leave you exposed.
He timed it perfectly. I think it was just the extension of the upper leg that the officials calling there is dangerous.
The officials definitely, they don't let you get any leeway with that either. If they see you catching any contact, they call that every time.
Easily. 25, 30 yards out here on the set piece. It's going to be Brian Wright, the junior. Only 4 in the wall. Miller trying to set it up. Not happy with the placement. It slid through. Wide open opportunity and cleared away by Plymouth. That was dangerous.
Yeah, it was.
Subs coming in here for Hollis-Brookline.
I think that was number 8. I think Remy got to that first, but that was a wide open chance right there.
It does look like he got the foot on it, clearing away. Just smart play, getting away from everyone crashing in behind you. But it does go out for a corner.
At least it went out the side, so they only ended up with the corner.
McAvoy delivers to the back post, and this one takes a deflection off a leg. Burns tries to unload, and that's extra hesitation allowed Plymouth to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, can't have hesitation this late in the year. It'll cost you. Everybody's moving too fast.
This one just rolls out of play is the call from the far side official. Hollis-Brookline wanted a foul. Might have been warranted.
Yeah. There's been a few let go I've seen.
Lobbed it on the throw-in. This one takes a deflection. It goes right to Burns. He'll try to play a square ball. It goes back to Smith. Driven forward. Good recovery from Green. But it's given back to Max Burns.
Secondary defense needs to get in there.
Pratt takes a shove in the back there from Bask. And a couple of more coming together.
Good call, ref stepping in there.
Again, those two have been doing battle since Pratt has come back into the game, and a lot of it's been off the ball.
I don't see a lot of chatter going on, so I don't know if there's bad feelings. Maybe both teams have agreed it's going to be a physical game.
And I think, as you mentioned, Plymouth trying to create that urgency, that tempo with getting the physical play in. Pratt will send this one just to the left of us and across the street.
Way over into the farm equipment. Yeah, it's nice to see Plymouth playing with some physicality because there's been a few games where they've lacked that. And some teams have kind of run over them in the past.
Clock continues to run as we wait for a ball. There's 5:40 remaining here first half. Again, clock will stop with 2 minutes remaining. It'll be kept with the officials on the field here in New Hampshire high school soccer.
I'd like to see Pete Winkstead create some offense. He's been quiet the last few games.
And he's had some opportunities just before you arrived at the beginning of the game, but has pretty much been taken out of play since then. They're kind of Hollis-Brookline kind of screening him off, not allowing a lane to find his foot. Defoe going to work in towards Burns. Under pressure. Nice step over move from Burns. McAvoy will flick it up into the air, but it'll land out of play on the far side. Throw in here. Clock stop. 5 minutes remaining. So unless that's something that's changed recently.
I think it seems to be inconsistent between schools with stopping at the 5 minute or the 2 minute.
Or the 2 minute mark.
I heard a rumor that they were doing it at 5 this year, and then I saw some schools still going to 2. So
maybe
it's a rule change that hasn't
all
been
the way
enforced.
Down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 15 years for myself of knowing it at stopping at 2.
It seems like forever with the 5 minute of not knowing precisely what the count is.
But I think that plays more in favor of teams. You're not clock watching as much. You're not trying to throw bodies as much forward. But we'll see how it plays out here. This one takes a deflection off of Burns, cleared away nicely by Plymouth.
It should also bring more urgency to the end of the half for the team who's down.
Talk about it. Plymouth trailing 2-0 here in the first half. Carpenter going over the top. Winkstead will try to chase it down to the far side, but it'll be seen out of play.
Winkstead was showing a little jump there, trying to get at that ball.
Touched back up by the Bobcats. One touch right back, and it's ping ball here in the midfield.
Yeah, the defense is keeping it in. I like to see it.
McAvoy under pressure. We'll play it out. We hear head coach Jesse Elderkin saying, he's under pressure. He's struggling when he's under pressure, so get numbers forward on McAvoy.
He's pretty animated over there on the sideline today.
I've known him for a very long time. He was an assistant coach when I played at Plymouth, and he has not changed. It's just his style, and it works. It gets the boys fired up on the sideline.
They love him.
Throw in at midfield for the Cavaliers. It's going to go down the line and headed on by Plymouth. Twombly couldn't control it. Wright has this one peeled off his foot and out of play by Plymouth. Cavaliers working down the far sideline. Throw in towards the 18. Opportunity here up top from Bask. Still can't find it. Inside the 18. Toe poked and a save by Miller.
That was a good save.
Great reach from Elliot Miller.
Mamouche behind you. There you go.
Ty trying to play it forward. On a cutback from Troden. Smith. Looking for an overlapping run from Defoe. Carpenter able to cut it off nicely. And it's played out of bounds.
Number 2 from Hollis shows a lot of strength out there. He really stops the Ethan Smith. Yeah, he was one of those players I mentioned in the beginning when I got here. The real strong strikers that just puts a lot of pressure and physicality on the defense.
Thrown forward, Smith will get a head on it and calls for it back. Smart play from Smith just to work the way he's facing with his midfielders. His Cavaliers will work it all the way back.
He's not a real tall kid, but he definitely uses his body to get position and uses physicality in a clean way to make things happen for him.
Cavaliers working the defensive line. Defoe with all sorts of room in front. Burns. Cuts past Twombly. Plays it to the right. Opportunity for the Cavaliers. Shot coming, and it's off the crossbar and out. And headed in for the goal. A 3-0 lead here for Hollis-Brookline in the first half.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. That ball was going to spring free, and he knew exactly where it was going to be and really sprinted out and made that play happen. Caught the Plymouth defenders kind of sleeping there.
Brian Wright on that feed from the right-hand side had it off the crossbar. And good work from the Cavaliers to crash and stay in on the play.
Yeah, midfielder up there crashing on the net, making things happen. Yeah, guys in front of the net, looking for opportunities.
In the middle, Carpenter with a square ball feed. It's cut off by Smith. Closing moments of the opening 40 minutes. Here comes Kennedy again. He's pushed from behind, and it's on the edge of the 18 for a free kick. And J.J. Kennedy, the senior, getting that goal on the header. They're saying 1 minute remaining here.
See if Plymouth can regroup at halftime here.
Wall looks a little bit out of position.
Hollis is getting a lot of opportunities.
It's going to be Bask on the delivery here, number 11. Left-footed attempt. Trying to bend it around the wall and misses just to the left. Good opportunity.
Nice try. It's tough to do, especially at the high school level. But when it works, it looks beautiful.
Oh, it looks absolutely gorgeous. We have a perfect light sign. Light. I can't even talk right now. Just side angle for that. There we go. We'll get it out eventually. Flicked on by Twombly. Closing seconds. Cavaliers trying to get one more on the board. They lead 3-0 now. Defoe under pressure, gets wrapped up and tackled down, and now the whistle comes. And a smart whistle there. William Fogarty wrapping up. But the whistle will sound for halftime, and really from what you saw, what did you take away from the brief moments here in the first half?
Plymouth defense has just caught sleeping a few times. They need to tighten that up and try to push the ball downfield so they can get some opportunities. The few opportunities they had looked like they were close, so their strikers look like they might be able to make something happen if they can get the ball downfield, but it's just so seldomly down there.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen. We'll step aside, take a quick break. When we come back, second half action here in the NHIAA Division II boys first round matchup. It's number 7 Hollis-Brookline leading 3-0 over Plymouth. Welcome back, fans, here on Granite State Sports Network and Pemmy Baker TV. Dan Salzer alongside Brandon Miller. And Brandon, we talked about what you saw in the first half, but what do you want to see out of both teams starting off this second half?
I want to see Plymouth use their anticipation and use their bodies to play physical and not their hands. They've got a lot of calls against them for pushing and stuff like that, so they need to play more under control, but they need to anticipate when they see their opportunities and create and get some offense going, because the ball's just been down their end way too much.
And the winner of this will travel to take on the second-seeded Lebanon side in the quarterfinal matchup. But Plymouth in that 3-0 hole here needs to get numbers forward quickly. We already see a little change in formation. It looks like 3 in the back right now for Plymouth.
Plymouth seems to have come out awake here.
See on the left side.
Yeah, like you said, some of these kids, it's their last game they're ever going to play competitively. So
Casarino with a nice delivery, and Kutu grabs it out of the eye. Yeah. Kutu using his height to his advantage.
Casarino does a good job of making things happen. And right there was a perfect example of it.
Headed on by Hickson.
And if I'm Hollis, I don't change a thing. I just keep putting the pressure on. Keep trying to make sure I play clean so I don't give Plymouth any easy opportunities. But, you know, they're sitting on a fat 3-0 lead here, and they don't really need to do much more than just keep Plymouth on their heels.
All right, took the words out of my mouth. Play what they did in the first half is that ability to work in towards Burns and then play out the other way. McAvoy sending this one on the throw-in deep, trying to find Basque. Girard tries to get control here for Plymouth, has some numbers coming late. Behind Wingstead, though, it's stolen away by Burns.
Oh.
Burns waiting for some help. Smartly leaves it off for Defoe. Had a very active first half on the left side of the defense.
Yeah, Hollis is moving the ball really good there, keeping possession. Looked like just a little misstep that it caused it to go out. Plymouth's using their heads really well, too, in this game. That's a new thing they've kind of been working on the past couple games. It's good to see it come into fruition.
Pratt mistimes the touch. Trying to get a clearance attempt is sitting along the end line. Pratt will fire this one up to midfield. Little push in the back there to Wingstead. So Wojak get away with this one. Turnover.
Smith overran it there a little bit. He had a nice chance to kind of make something happen.
Good shot opportunity in the midfield from Troden. Foot race on the near side. Girard will clear this one out of play.
Girard's been playing with some pep the last couple games, too. It's been nice to see.
Yeah, he's really seemed to get more comfortable up in the midfield and striking role here throughout the course of the season.
He plays it. He and Pratt, for sure, play full speed all the time.
This one takes a deflection down the line, kept in play. Hickson on the cutback. Heard footsteps coming with right as it deflects out for a Cavaliers throw-in. Lobbed in towards the 18, headed straight up. Hickson under pressure. It's off a leg of Plymouth. Kept in play.
Good job keeping it in.
Right. Funny bounce off his knee. And this one's going to be sent out for a throw-in. Just kept in along the end line.
Yeah, good job keeping it so it wasn't a corner. Some heads-up play by Remy there.
Say essentially is a corner right here.
Yeah, with the throw-ins are right there. That's true.
Bounces through everybody. Smith trying to get there in time for the Cavaliers, and it's cleared away by Plymouth. Still a battle, and now the foul is called by the officials.
Yeah, that's a good example. Not using your hands. If you can make that same play happen without the push-off, then you might not get the call.
It's tough when you're
But the referees see those hands extended.
Yep.
They're going to call that every time,
and
whether you did it or not.
That's just Plymouth overcommitting and just not able to grab with a soft surface here.
Yeah.
They got to adjust. Set piece far side. Just under 36 minutes remaining. McAvoy driven in low. Deflects right back to him. Carpenter knees it up to midfield.
Good job, Plymouth. Crash on that ball.
This one sent right at us and out of play. Good work by Defoe to cover. And a sub coming in as Plymouth is ready to try to get a quick counterattack going.
Casarino was halfway through his throwing motion.
Toomey checks back in. Replace Smith. Casarino, nice left foot driven ball, but it's deflected out of play. Again, you can see as soon as Plymouth has any sort of possession deep in Cavalier territory, you see the numbers that Hollis-Brookline's been able to get behind the ball.
Yeah, they're always flowing to the ball. They do a really good job of that, keeping pressure on whoever has the ball at that moment.
One touched effort coming from Troden. It's cleared back up to him inside the center circle, but it's knocked off his foot by Toomey.
So a little chance here for Plymouth.
Wingstead couldn't get control. He's cut off from his self-pass, but it's out for a Bobcat throw-in far side.
We got the intensity, Blue.
Wingstead got knocked off the ball there. It looks like he was looking for a call.
Trying to play that game within the game.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. Never worked in my favor. This one's out for a goal kick.
It's funny for a football player to be looking for a call and some contact. Although he is the kicker for the football team, so I'm not sure how much contact he sees.
Always looking for a call. Always looking for a call. Nice tip up far side, just out of the reach of Smith as he gives up on the run to the sideline. 34 minutes remaining. Plymouth trailing by 3-0. Smith with a header. This one's booted back up far side and out of play. Looking for Wingstead, and he just did not realize it was heading towards him, and a turnover easily for Hollis-Brookline. Given over to Carpenter. Gerard trying to find Wingstead up top.
Yeah, Plymouth just isn't able to penetrate that defense.
Again, just trying to play too much vertically,
Yeah.
too much over the top. Again, it all really comes down to the conditions here on the field this afternoon. And a foul here, and a push in the back against the Cavaliers. It's Troden with the call.
I like to see these teams. I like the physical play, but I don't see a lot of chirping. And I just saw some kids, bumping fists and saying, it's okay. We bumped. It's all good. So it's nice to see that. A couple of games have gotten a little mouthy this year, and you never want to see that.
Heavy touch from Carpenter trying to find the overlapping run of Pratt on the far sideline is well out of play. And right, it's all the sportsmanship, the gamesmanship at times too. It's all who is going to make it to Manchester Memorial in a week and a half time. Defoe
there's a
sends
lot of
this
good
one a
competition
mile in the
in
sky.
Yeah, there's a lot of good competition in this league, especially the Southern teams.
When you look at teams get the first round bye, Conval with the number 1 seed. See also Oyster River went on a tear at the end of the year, a couple of ties, but pretty much unbeaten the second half of the season. Milford also in the top 4 that get that first round bye. So
Yeah, I think Plymouth saw 2 of those teams, right?
I believe so.
I think they played Milford and Conval.
Had Milford in a 2-2 tie back on September 5th at Milford.
Yeah, that might have been their best effort of the year right there.
This one sent for a ride, misses over the crossbar, but Plymouth with their first real opportunity here in the second half. Kutu on the goal kicks, driven nicely over midfield.
Yeah, there's that nice foot of that goalie. Haven't seen too many goal kicks this game.
Bask will get the head on, try to find Kennedy, but it will be sent out to the far side. Subs coming in for the Cavaliers. See Smith being subbed out the first time here today. It's Noah Swart checking back in. It was very active at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Definitely part of that flurry of offensive activity at the end of the half.
Swan inside the 18. Opportunity for Bask. Turnaround effort. Bask gets ahead on it. Top of the 6. And Miller quickly off his line and gathers it up. Quick delivery, trying to get the counterattack going, but there's not enough numbers forward.
That Plymouth defense is just letting them handle the ball inside the 18 way too much.
Shove from Pratt, not called. He'll have it back on his foot. And sitting all alone in the midfield.
And no Plymouth players in the middle there.
Heavy touch from Carpenter. He slips trying to control it. Good slide tackle by Plymouth on the far side. It looked like it was Connor Green. Intensity has definitely picked up here over the last couple of minutes. Potential final half an hour of the season for Plymouth.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. They got to go out and get it. At the very least, you want to walk off this field as a senior knowing that you put everything into it. Know you're down 3-0, but even if you walk away with the L, you want to know that you left everything on the field.
Starting to show here in the second half. Good read by Plymouth. It takes a deflection over to McAvoy. Great read by Troden to right.
Hollis is really moving that ball well.
Again, it's that home field advantage. A square ball, but it stays with possession with Plymouth. Wingstead under pressure. Gerard nearly, and now it gets called. It's a late call on the dangerous play. Getting that foot up a little bit too high.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Nobody wants to get the cleat in the chest. Refs are very cognizant of that. They call it all the time.
It's never fun. I can speak
Sure,
from
as a goalie,
experience.
you've gotten that quite a few times.
Oh, that's the least of the pain that I've had over the years.
You got to be a brave person to stand in net and let people kick balls at you.
Burns, edge of the 18, has an opportunity, leaves it off for some help. It's cut back to the left with Swart. And Hollis-Brookline, realizing that Plymouth got numbers back, will work it out in the midfield. And a wasted opportunity on the left.
He might have been better off taking the shot there rather than trying to move it across.
Yeah, dismay to the fans here on the bleachers and on the near side. And hear all the awes
A little bit of
out.
a groan, yeah.
Hickson going to take the goal kick. Little chip up to the center circle, finds Wingstead. Wingstead steps past Defoe, has pressure coming on his right, and he'll be fouled. Good work from...
He got pushed twice there.
Yeah.
Wondering if we get a whistle.
Referee missed the first one, decides to call the second one, but Plymouth will take it either way at midfield. So they'll try to get numbers forward. Really surprised, though, yeah. Hickson, with his height, is not going in to try to play this.
He's got the strongest leg on the team. I think that's why they use him in that.
Kuto slips and able to recover inside the 6.
Not sure what Plymouth was doing there. I didn't see anybody really running at the ball.
Opportunity right side for Wright. McAvoy can't flick it past Hickson.
Yeah, Hickson had a real nice ball there. He gave his forwards a chance.
So over 27 minutes remaining here, second half. 3-0 lead for Hollis-Brookline.
Drying the ball off with his jersey.
Allow Wright to get a little bit better grip on the throw here. It's going to go in towards the 6. Has some opportunities. Plymouth gets a foot on it, only to the top of the 18. And Pratt commits another foul.
Yeah, the little hip check in there.
Just comes in just too aggressive sometimes on that right side.
It's nice to see his aggression, but yeah, sometimes you'd like to see it a little more under control and more well placed.
See how Miller sets the wall. It's like McAvoy's going to take it, number 15.
This small field with those throw-ins, man, they really are. It's like a corner every time. Even from out by the 18, that was almost in, where somebody could make something dangerous.
23-yard attempt is going to be driven over the crossbar, and good idea, but wasted opportunity for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, you see a lot of those go over the net.
It's just hard, especially you need so much finesse to get the right momentum and the right angle on it, and here just that slightest slip on your plant foot throws it all off.
Try to get that top spin so the ball curls over the wall and then down.
This goal kick sent out from Hickson. Cavaliers working far side. This one past Ty. Square ball
wide open
feed.
in the middle of the field.
McAvoy trying to find options, and good work from Plymouth's defense. Nice job by Connor Green.
Don't like to see them giving them possession in the middle of the field like that.
Well,
keep them to the perimeter.
Exactly. Too many times we've seen when Hollis-Brookline's worked right up the middle or within essentially the edge of the boxes, they've been just walking in. There's been no pressure coming defensively from Plymouth.
Yeah. I noticed, too, during this season, Plymouth has kind of ceded the from about 30 to 20, kind of ceded that territory to the field a lot of times and collapsed on the net, kind of giving the other team that chance. I think they're afraid to give them the 18, but sometimes you got to challenge them before they get in there.
But it's also the lack of communication we've had defensively. As that corner kick from McAvoy was chipped up, an easy grab for Miller out of the sky. So played back to Kutu.
The goalie got a little too far under it. Sky ball.
Old spinner a mile high in the sky, but Cavaliers come down with possession here on the near side. Sattler will play it back to McAvoy. Into the middle. Heavy touch by Troden and out of play.
The last game I spoke to goalie Jason Koopman's father before they left and asked him if his son had ever been asked to punt for the football team, and he said he gets asked all the time with that strong leg, but he likes to just concentrate on soccer.
Would love to have him at Plymouth State, I'll tell you that.
He's got quite the foot.
Batted around in the midfield line. Flicks straight up into the sky. No control. Green will get a touch on it. He'll keep it in play. Ty with a nice little heel flick up the line. He'll receive a little give and go.
He's got some nifty footwork sometimes. He's really got a bright future ahead of him here.
Ringstead couldn't split a couple of defenders. Carpenter plays it out far side. Foot race on. Gerard trying to get there against Defoe. And this one will go out of play.
Extra push.
But I like that, playing into space, playing out to the wings, trying to get something going forward.
Yes. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like Plymouth kicks the ball out of bounds on purpose. Quite often.
Sometimes.
Sometimes unnecessarily, in my opinion, but...
Max Burns, one of the goal scorers here, had the first goal of the game on a deflection. Looking vertically, it's out of the reach of Bask. As they try to get on the same page. Miller with a nice punt. No pressure coming from Plymouth, though. It's easily won with a foot of Wojak. Into the corner, and it's just out of the reach of Sattler, who had a good run there down the line.
They've struggled all year with that kind of transition of getting the ball off the punt and kind of moving it down. Where I know last year they seemed to always get to those headers, but this year it seems to be lacking in their game.
Burns trying to play a little give and go here on the near side with Sadler. Sadler will win it back, cut off by Carpenter. And Plymouth will just
Hollis lost sight of that and
send this one for a ride downfield, yes. 22:08 remaining here, regulation. No score in the second half, but it's Hollis-Brookline with a 3-0 lead. This one out, and substitution on for Hollis-Brookline. See Bass getting subbed out. Chetrianen now in for the Cavaliers up top, number 19. Burns steps past the tackle attempt of Ty. Good feed over Sauter and a shot and an easy stop for Miller, who doesn't give up a rebound.
Again, they're Plymouth giving him that center of the field there.
And really, every 50-50 ball we've seen, there's been very little pressure from Plymouth.
Yeah.
Another one there in the punt.
Right back in.
Right side.
Fogarty coming in to challenge him, but about 3 seconds too late.
Sattler on the feed, and this one's going to go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, Plymouth seems to be not they're on their heels when they're putting the ball out to midfield. There's nobody's moving. They got to get the whole team kind of moving down the field. And they just seem to be waiting for the ball.
Headed back in again, no pressure from Plymouth. Heavy touch, work near side. Casarino takes the shove, tries to play it forward, comes together, and foul here as
Casarino looked like he was a little frustrated with the physical contact while the guy was riding him out of bounds.
Well, I think he was just not happy the fact that he didn't get a foul call on the shove before that touch. But nevertheless, it's going to be a free kick. And they'll put it right at the 6. Short goal kick. Casarino gets ahead on this one. Plymouth with possession. Hickston, a heavy touch over to Casarino, and it's stolen away by the Cavaliers. Settler has it knocked off his foot. Will stay with Hollis-Brookline. Just under 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Hollis doesn't need to play with urgency here, so it can take a little time with their throw-ins, but Plymouth needs to definitely step it up.
So this one kept in momentarily, but it's sent over the end line for a goal kick. And you're right. We'd like to see Hollis-Brookline in this situation work more into the corners, try to keep possession, just keep it deep, and force Plymouth to work the entire length of the field. Yeah,
they just need to run out the clock now. There's Plymouth isn't showing much offensive might, so.
Short goal kick from Hickson. I've never liked having a defender take a goal kick, even if the keeper's leg isn't strong, because it just leaves the opponent so much more space to stay on sides.
I wonder about the strategy of that. I know that Hickson has the strongest leg, but I know Miller he's a capable leg. It's not weak by any means. Hickson definitely has the advantage there, but yeah, it does seem to be, and it seems common among quite a few teams.
It is. It's very common in high school as Miller, coming off his line of deflection, gathers it up in the 6. But just, you would think with Hickson's, height for the Plymouth side is to get another body forward that can challenge for these 50-50s. As a foul here, and it's going to be on Plymouth.
That's Sean Rosine there with the foul. He's one of the bigger players on Plymouth, and definitely not afraid to use his body, but right there he didn't use it within the rules.
Rosine in the last group of substitutions. Casarino, nice dummy by Rosine. Tie on the end line and a shot, a save by Kudo to keep the shutout alive.
Good save by the goalie there. That was a good shot.
Ryan Kudo, the senior, with a beautiful sprawling save to his left. But it will be a corner kick for Plymouth.
I'd like to see Plymouth some more of that opportunity there. That looked like a planned play. Rosine with a real smart, just playing the dummy and letting it go, and Ty there with the nice shot from the side.
Driven in low. Kudo, heavy bounce, loose ball on the line, and it's cleared away by the Cavaliers. So again, the muddy and slippery conditions play a factor on Kudo. He slipped trying to scoop it going forward, and he's telling his team, my bad, but that went right off his chest
back
into
goalies,
play.
Yeah. Both of those nets are real chewed up, so you're just, hoping you get a good jump when the ball comes at you.
Just getting a piece of it is what you want as a goalie in this situation. This one headed back out of play.
Yeah, those Hollis defenders with the heads up, getting in there when the ball, with that lucky bounce and clearing it away.
More substitution action for Plymouth. I believe it's Lucas Sullivan checking in, number 12.
Yeah, well done.
And by 12, I mean 21. Jacob Busalari. Just over 16 minutes remaining. So final quarter hour for Plymouth to get something going here. If anything, you'd like to see them just avoid the shutout. Just get something.
Yeah, get something
on
in.
the board.
Make something happen.
They've had their chances here in the second half.
Busalari showed some offensive spark when he's been in the past few games, so he might be able to make something happen here for him.
Wingstead with possession, but a late foul on the clip there.
Looks like the referees are starting to tighten up on the physical play here.
There's been a lot of the initial contact's been good. It's the contact, the second, third, fourth one after that.
Yeah, the secondary contact. Yeah.
Free kick just over midfield here for McAvoy. He'll send it far side, looking for Burns. Toomey mistimes it. Into the corner. Cavaliers can't get a clean cross into the 18. Played around and turned over, driven shot. That hits a defender inside the 18 and deflects to the far side off
Nice play by Remy deflecting that away, but given that possession, right outside the 18 there. Yeah, I always tell kids in any sport, basketball, hockey, soccer, like if you get your body in position and plant your feet, you're not going to get called by a referee. It's the kid who's out of position that always gets the call because he has to do something, that the referee catches to try to get it back. So solid feet and just using your body to get in position correctly. And I just haven't seen that with Plymouth in the second half for sure.
Just trying to scramble and make something happen. There's Ty, can't control it cleanly. This little shove to McAvoy. Carpenter just back into the game. Leaves it for Ty. Ty, self-pass into the corner, but it's too far out of his reach. So kind of desperation time for the Bobcats, having to get numbers forward here. Solari looking for an option. Good cutoff here and a foul call, and this one's going to be against the Cavaliers. So a set piece for Plymouth in the middle.
I didn't see what happened there.
Must have been off the ball. I was looking on the far side, thinking it was over there on the contact, but they're going to put it right in the middle of the field.
Letting Anton Smith take the shot here, it looks like.
Three-man wall here for Hollis-Brookline. Smith delivers low, and Kuto on the hop, able to gather it up cleanly.
He got it on net.
I like that. His last couple of times he's taking notes and seeing that the wall is jumped, trying to get a little bit extra height. So play it down low, hopefully a skip and a bounce off of a divot or something. Might find the back of the net, but here comes the other way. Miller off his line, makes a toe save. Was expecting the shot to come off, but makes the save nonetheless, as this one's cleared into the bleachers here just off to our right.
Two Plymouth defenders right there, and the Hollis guy still ends up with the ball.
And it all comes down to just really the lack of height on this Bobcat side.
Yeah.
Ty tries to flick it on, sends it straight up into the sky. Burns comes down with it for the Cavaliers. Good square ball out to the left. Swart plays it forward. Miller takes contact and slipped coming off his line, but we'd like to see him kind of get down and protect himself a little better. 12 and a half minutes to go.
Playing with abandon in the last few minutes of his season.
Playing in empty space. Sadler gets a touch on it, keeps it in bounds. Miller will come off his line and smartly waits for it inside the 18 to gather it up. Knocked around in the midfield. Carpenter will get a touch to Busolari. Again, there's just too much separation from the defense and the midfield here for Plymouth.
Yeah, it's that transition game. It's just not working for him.
Whistle on the far side as more subs come in for the Bobcats.
I know Plymouth lost this year due to kids moving away. Henry Green, who was a really strong midfielder for them last year, and his name escapes me right now, but they had a really strong defender last year that didn't return. I think they could have used Henry Green's experience in the midfield with that transition game.
Yeah, it's always tough when you're expecting one thing as Busolari has contact from behind, no call on the edge of the 18. You expect one kind of team to show up to preseason, and it's a completely different look. So how do you kind of make the pieces fall together for the season?
Yep.
But such is life. It's just got to adapt.
They made the playoffs. So all in all, I think it was a successful season for them. I'm sure they wanted to achieve something a little more, but they made it here. The playoffs. The team last year got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Still not
as
over.
well. So I'm sure Plymouth wants to penetrate a little more into that, playoff field here. But all in all, I think they made a good showing for Plymouth soccer this season.
Still not over. Still plenty of time. 10 minutes remaining. 10 and a half to be exact. They've had their chances at times here in the second half. Throw in far side for the Bobcats. It's going to end up inside the 18, knocked around. Kuto was coming off his line, and a whistle, and the clock is going to stop. And are we going to have a card here or a penalty? Which way is this going to go? It was on the clearance. It looks like it's going to be a penalty shot here for Plymouth.
Wow.
On the push, on contact on the edge of the 6.
Huh.
So
did you see the contact there?
I
did not see anything.
So Sean Rosine is going to take the kick here. And this is critical.
Yeah, Plymouth, it'd be really nice to see, not get shut out here.
Here comes the matchup. Whistle sounds. And a save! Kuto with a huge save to his left. Still loose inside the 18. Kuto comes up with it again. And the Cavaliers fans are on their feet.
Yeah, save on a penalty shot really brings a surge of energy to the team.
Oh, I read it perfectly.
Look at that. Look at that punt.
First time we've seen it get this deep from Kuto here this afternoon. But
punted it down to the 18 there.
Read it perfectly because we saw that Rosine was able to open his hips and just when you do that, when you're approaching the ball, it's going to be read 9 times out of 10 by any goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Rosine's inexperience in varsity play there, showed up. He did a good job getting the ball on net and making it a game save, but it was easy for the goalie to kind of read what his intentions were. Good goalies, I think, they study that body language before and can anticipate where it's going to go.
Exactly. It's the awareness as the foul here. Busalar in the midfield. But it's the awareness that you expect because of how soft it is, how wet it's been on this field over the last couple of weeks, that you're not going to be able to pull and cut back. So you almost, as a goalkeeper, can eliminate the entire right side of the goal in that situation. And that's exactly what Ryan Couteau did.
I know there's not a lot of deception and at the high school level about where you're going to kick it either. So a good goalie can usually read the player's eyes or his hips and know where he's going to go with it.
McAvoy with a nice driven ball. A foul on here at the edge of the 18. And it's going to be on Hollis-Brookline. They're going to call offsides here.
I know. Miller's explained to me quite a few times the psychology around reading where the guy's going to kick and
it's tough
how to know where's the the little psychological ticks that everyone has before they come up and do it. So
offsides was the call.
I always just thought it was a guess.
Youth level, absolutely. Foot race on as Plymouth trying to shield. It doesn't go out, and it will go for a corner kick. Good hustle from Hollis-Brookline to earn the corner.
Looks like Hollis is putting in quite a few subs here. It's like a hockey line change again, right?
Looks like 5 came in. See Smith now moving over to the right-hand side, back in after about a 5 or 7 minute break. Chance to put the nail in the coffin here for the Cavaliers. Up by 3, under 7 minutes remaining. Driven in low. Carpenter gets a head on that one. Back out to the far side. Defoe driven in and a save by Miller. Desperation save and smart play not to try to grab it, just to get a punch on it essentially.
Yeah, he almost denied the rebound just by pushing it out so far.
Swung around near side. McKenna back in on that substitution. Couldn't control it for the Cavaliers. Clock ticking down against Plymouth. This one headed straight up and now out of play.
Yeah, Hollis really hasn't sat back and played safe. They've definitely kept the pressure on in the second half.
It's that old adage is, the best defense is good offense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Plymouth has not let them in the net this half, but they've definitely been playing in their own end a lot.
McAvoy, nice throw down the line into the corner for McKenna. It's headed out by Plymouth. Remy's done well defensively for the Bobcats here this afternoon. Knocked around inside the 18. McKenna tries to control it, finds Burns. Toe pokes it, and Miller looked like he slipped up going down to make the save.
Oh, bad punt there.
Yeah, tries to rush it, set up the counterattacks. That kind of desperation time kicking in.
Desperation, you want to rush it there, but his players weren't streaking down the field to take advantage of it. So, that's part of that communication piece that you had talked about earlier. If you're going to do that, you have to have the other side of it working it too.
Exactly. Burns, nice avoidance. Leaves it off for some help as McAvoy has this one spin off the outside of his foot and misses off to the right. Good opportunity for Hollis-Brookline.
Hollis just seems to be teeing off here. Plymouth can't even get it out of their own end.
Batted around at midfield. Priliano just in. Couldn't control it. McAvoy with some space. Carpenter coming slowly. Swan headed back up into the bleachers just in front of us. Clock stop. Under 5 minutes remaining here in regulation.
I know some of the last Hollis game, the parents were real happy with the way Hollis had played in that game, and I got the feeling that Hollis maybe struggled in the beginning of the season, and it seems like they've really put it together here at the end of the season. maybe they'll make a run and be able to challenge in the second round here.
Possibly. In that first matchup against Plymouth, up in Plymouth, head coach Steve Martis was just saying that, a lot of injuries for this Cavaliers side at that time of the year. So now they've got the numbers back.
They've got everybody back,
They've got kind of a good foothold on what they would like to do going into the playoffs.
They seem to be really playing cohesively. They're moving the ball. They're getting out. They're
here
controlling the middle of the field.
One-time effort from Smith, and that one just misses.
A nice chance right there.
Ethan Smith, the junior, unloads with a left foot.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice season next year. He's got a nice foot. He's got good footwork. His physicality is really good. Another year growing, and he could be a real dangerous player.
Just got to get over the ball. You got to kind of lock that hip, lock that leg, and get that weight forward and keep it low.
Yeah.
But Plymouth will take that miss. Good touches through the midfield. Has contact in the middle. Tough one for Lucas Kozak just in, who commits the foul, number 14 for Plymouth.
Yeah, Lucas isn't coach is just getting some players on the field here at the end. He hasn't seen a lot of varsity time, so it looks like that's just an inexperienced mistake right there.
I like that,
Yeah, get these players to see the speed of the varsity game, especially in the playoffs.
Exactly. It's tough that you want to concede or you are conceding at that point, but you want to build for that next year. You want to see that experience and for your players to look forward to going into 2020.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you're not just building a team, you're building a program, and you need to always look to the future of that program. You got to find the right balance for that, and, I definitely applaud him for getting these guys in here.
So a corner kick here, played short, kept it along the end line, driven across and blocked by Plymouth as Carpenter fires this one out of play.
Plymouth is just totally on their heels at this point.
Yeah, it's almost just they're packing 9 behind.
Just trying to get out of here without giving up one more.
I mean, if you can at least hold Hollis-Brookline to a scoreless second half, it's at least something to build off of heading into next season. Far side. Good pressure coming from Plymouth. This one will just sneak over the sideline on the far side.
Looks like the referee was going by the call for the bench over there. I'm not sure why, but he was about 5 or 6 yards onto the field.
Got a 2-man system here in New Hampshire high school soccer, so it's difficult.
It's never easy. Reffing in any sport is never easy. Even umpiring Little League games is challenging sometimes.
So even when you're right, you're always wrong.
Yes,
always
that's true.
Wrong. This one headed out for a corner for the Cavaliers here in the closing moments.
Yeah, you got to appreciate the job that those guys do because you have to maintain a bunch of hot-headed high schoolers, keep them civil and sportsmanlike and make the right calls. And it's not an easy job, and in general, they do a pretty good job of it.
A couple of subs waiting for Plymouth after this set piece and the corner kick. McAvoy going to take it. Driven, top of the 18 on the back post, headed around and it's in! J.J. Kennedy gets his second of the day.
Ethan Smith really set that up with that nice header. Getting that back, original ball went a little too far, and he kind of got it back in play in the middle there.
I mean, normally you don't see a corner kick driven all the way back out high on the weak side. It's usually either short near the penalty spot or on the back post by the 6, but the ability there to play it back across, and that makes it so difficult for any goalkeeper to play. You want to come to your left, then have to readjust to your right. Tough one for Elliot Miller.
You have a lot of ground to cover there on that net, and when you have to go back and forth across the field like that is not easy. It's a little easier for a hockey goalie to cover the 6 feet than it is the
15 feet.
Yeah, 15 feet of a.
Here's shot for Smith. Taking into the corner, and smart for Ethan Smith, just trying to kill the clock here. As the whistle blows, Hollis-Brookline, your winners here in the first round, 4-0 over Plymouth. 7th seed in the Cavaliers will advance to the quarterfinals and will take on Lebanon on the road, the number 2 seed. So
that's going to be a tough game for them, but given how cohesive they played and good goaltending and they're real good strikers up front, I'm sure they have a shot against Lebanon.
Look at things, though. Plymouth season does come to an end, and a tough one for this very veteran group. A lot of seniors on this roster.
A lot of seniors. It's tough to see them go out like this, but they played hard. These kids are going to graduate and move on. But Plymouth is, despite all the seniors that they're losing, they have a really strong sophomore class, and they should be coming back with plenty of talent. They'll be able to make a run at it for a couple more years for sure.
So that's going to do it for us here this afternoon. Plymouth's record falls to a final record of 7-9-1. Hollis-Brookline will win and advance here in Division II. They are now 11-5-1. And the Bobcats season will come to an end. We'd like to thank you all for joining us here on the Granite State Sports Network and Pemmy Baker TV. Brandon, any final thoughts before we sign off here for this season?
It's been a wonderful experience to be able to do this with you, and it's been great to watch these kids throughout these 4 years, grow up and become better soccer players, and just wish them all the best.
For our cameraman and producer Andrew Fenn, my partner this afternoon in Brandon Miller, my name is Dan Salzer. We thank you for joining us. Final score for the final time, it's Hollis-Brookline 4, Plymouth 0. We'll see you next season for another year of Bobcat soccer.